Scene Studio, take 3.
Hello TMS, I'm Abigail,
I'm JT.
and you're watching the TMS Voice. After weeks without the option to purchase clear backpacks from the office due to low supply, the amount of backpacks the office has is back up, so they're ready to be purchased once more.
Although due to high demand for them, the price has increased from $8 to $20 and now $15 per backpack.
If you need to buy another, the price remains high everywhere, so make sure to take care of your backpacks.
Definitely. On a separate note, this is a perfect time to try out my new joke.
Sure, why not?
When do ducks wake up?
When?
At the crack of dawn.
Now on to Joseph with the weekly weather.
Thank you, Abigail. Today it will be 65 degrees and sunny. On Tuesday it will be 69 degrees and slightly cloudy. For Wednesday it will be 55 degrees and partly cloudy, and on Thursday 46 degrees. Now sending you off to Sergio with the lunch menu.
It's Joseph. Today we'll be having a barbecue pork sandwich. Tomorrow we'll have a meatball sub. Moving it on to Wednesday, we'll have a ham and cheese hoagie. Finishing off the week on Thursday, we'll have a slice of pizza. Now I'll pass it on to Ava and Dominique.
We are here today with our track coaches, Mr. and Mrs. Dunlap, talking about the track season. How are you guys planning to approach the season compared to previous seasons?
I'll let you take this one.
So this season, we will have more days for practice because last year with COVID, we had shorter amount of time to work with our athletes. So it'll be more back to previous years where we can have a lot more strength and conditioning before we really work on our events.
And that's what I was going to say.
And what type of athletes are you guys looking for this season?
Generally fast ones
Fast and strong.
or strong. Fast and strong is actually better. Actually, we just want as many student athletes out there as possible.
But the fast ones.
So it's always great to get a wide variety of people out for track. It's kind of what makes our season, I think, more unique than other seasons. We have something for everybody. It's not like you're just going to go and play one sport or do one thing at a time. We kind of have a wide variety of things. I know that'll be one of your questions later, but we have a wide variety of things that accommodates a lot of different athletes and athlete types and their abilities. Absolutely.
What motivated you guys to become coaches for track?
Well, for me, it was just always something that I've done. When I was in middle school and high school, I was a track athlete. It was, quite honestly, one of my favorite sports. Football has always been my passion. Track is just a different type of a sport where it's a little more relaxed. You still have all the competitiveness, but it's a little more relaxed. I've always enjoyed it. So when I was able to get a job teaching here, it was one of the things that I actually asked about. And I requested that I be a track coach, and luckily they had a spot. So her story is a little bit different, but that's mine.
They needed a girls coach. So I have never coached anything in athletics before, and I really didn't participate in athletics. I went to 3 different high schools, so moving around so much, I just kind of like stayed to myself. I didn't really go out and do this, but this is 15 years, something like that, and I love it. So I've grown and learned so much, so I really enjoy being out there.
What do you think is the greatest challenge most track athletes face?
I think a lot of them, in any sport really, especially at this age, it's the mental aspect. Anytime that things become uncomfortable, things become a little, if they start hurting a little bit, they want to stop and give up. So really, it's getting over that mental hump, pushing yourself, pushing your bodies past the point of being comfortable. And once that you're able to really get an athlete to do that, their potential is unlimited at that point. But it's just that getting them out of their comfort zone and showing them what their bodies are capable of doing is, in my opinion, the hardest one.
What are some of the events and how many people does each event require?
So on the running, there is long distance, which is the mile or the 800. And it depends on which meet we attend. It depends on how many, their requirements depends on how many people we can place in an event. But it only requires one person to run it, like it's not a team event. And then you have shorter distance, 100 and 200, and then you have a 400 sprint. And once again, those are ones. And then you have relays, which are the 4x1, so 4 people run 100, 4x2, 4 people run a 200, 4x4, 4 people run a 400, and then there's a medley relay. So, and then there's long jump, triple jump, high jump, hurdles, the 100 hurdles, 300 hurdles, and then throwing, discus and shot put.
Right. So basically, to answer your question, all of the open events, it only requires one person. All of your relays require 4 people for a relay team. So those are the number of people required for the events.
How many meets do you guys plan on attending this season?
Well, we haven't seen the schedule yet, but we're hoping 6 to 7. The NMAA only allows us to compete in 7 since we're middle school. So we're hoping to max that out. But I think in years past we've done 6. So hopefully we can have the 6 to 7 like the NMAA allows.
What is your guys' personal favorite event in track?
For me, since I was not the runner when I was younger, since I predominantly I concentrate on the throwing events, for me my favorite is the discus event. It's what I was really good at in high school, and so that's my favorite.
My favorite is the very first relay, the 4x100 relay. It's fast and it has to be precise, and it's my favorite.
What are your consequences for missed practices or being late?
First of all, it's we obviously want to encourage all of our athletes to not be late or miss practice. But you generally, if they are not at school, that's an excuse. But if they're at school and they don't come to practice, it's generally taken care of at the stadium or at the field. If that becomes an issue, then as far as I'm concerned, they're quitting on their team. So if this becomes a habit, it's probably going to result in being kicked off the team.
We take attendance, and so if there's habitual absences, then they're just no longer a part of the team. It's not only for fairness of the other athletes, it's also for your safety. So if you're not coming to practice and putting in the work and getting stronger and better, you're not ready to compete. So you won't be pulled out of school.
And on that, it is about the overall health and safety of our athletes. If you don't come to a lot of practices and you try to go 100% on meet day, there's a really good chance you could pull a muscle, pop a hamstring. We don't want that. So so there is consequences for being late or for missing, but hopefully that doesn't become too big of an issue.
Every event has rules too. So if you're not at practice, you're not learning those rules. And so it's not just a free-for-all out there. Every event has a set of rules, and you have to learn and abide by those rules for that event.
How do you guys plan to connect with and benefit your athletes?
Well, I think we've been doing this long enough. I think it's just our coaching style allows us to kind of connect with each student and each student athlete. So hopefully that translates into some really good relationships outside of the classroom. It's always something that we've always been able to do really well, and so we're hoping that just continues. It's just kind of how we approach everything with our student athletes, and even in the classroom with our students. So hopefully it's just that one-on-one relationship that we try to develop with everybody. So hopefully that...
Well, and it's not about the ribbons or the trophies or anything like that. Did you improve every time you stepped on the track,
Yep.
or every time you stepped in the ring, or every time you jumped? Did you improve? So you may not be an athlete that gets a ribbon every time, but if you're taking and improving your time, we celebrate that.
Yep. And that's what I tell my student athletes every time they get on the bus. how do we measure success today? And they all know that it's, you know, did we get better? We all want medals and ribbons, you know, we all, that's what I did it for.
We're in it to win it.
But we're in it to win it, and I agree with that. But there are sometimes that if you have an athlete that took 1 second off of their 200,
That's
you know,
huge.
that's huge. And so we want to celebrate those
We celebrate
victories,
those.
just like we do the medals and the ribbons. So.
And if you're improving every time, then the team's improving. So overall, it helps both sides.
How would you describe your guys' coaching style?
Ooh, that's a really good question. In your face?
Loud,
No.
loud, but firm. But we do have fun out there. Like, it's a different environment. We do have fun. But we're not gonna, we don't negotiate. So whatever we said was the practice today, that's our expectations that we fulfill that practice. Because everything is used to build, so we're ready for the next meet. But generally, it's fun. It's a fun atmosphere.
Well, I think coaching style, just caring. Even though we're both highly competitive and we want that competitive nature to translate into our practices and our meets, we still care about those student athletes.
Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Dunlop, for talking to us about this year's track season. Now sending it off to Lizzie with the local news. Seeing local news, take 5.
Action.
On today's news, there were 5 taxi juveniles stopped car Sunday the 2nd and abandoned on Highway 209. The youths were identified and abandoned at McDonald's. They were towed by Sheriff Schaefer. Now off to Natalie, the Global News.
This week on Global News, Queen Elizabeth proved a woman could do the job of a constitutional monarch just as well or better than a man. She celebrated her Platinum Jubilee on February 6, 2022. This marks her 70-year reign. This means she has passed Queen Victoria's reign of 63 years. Now sending it off to Sheldon with the staff members of the league.
Thanks, Sheldon. We sent a Valentine's Day survey out last week and we received 160 responses. Here are the results.
81% celebrate Valentine's Day, while 19% don't.
40% give Valentine's to everyone, 19% give Valentine's to their families, 18% give Valentine's to their boyfriend or girlfriend, 9% give Valentine's to their crushes, and 14% give Valentine's to their friends.
27% have dates for Valentine's Day, 47% do not have dates, and 26% may have dates.
49% prefer chocolate as a gift, 34% prefer flowers, and 17% prefer cards.
50% prefer store-bought gifts, and 50% prefer homemade.
That's all we have this week, TMS. Make sure to read the newsletter and tune in next time. I'm Abigail.
I'm JT.
Thanks for watching and see you next week.
Where's makeup? Where's
Also,
hair and makeup?
Wait, Bailey.
Shut up, at least you have hair.